What's up, everybody? Nook is back here for a open spoiler discussion. I don't do these very often. This is my first Deadpool live stream ever, my first open spoiler discussion. I've done spoiler reviews, but never a spoiler live discussion. I'm not alone here, so I'm going to welcome in two of my guests. I will be having a part two because a couple of people couldn't make it, but we're going to welcome in Michael. Welcome in.
What's up? What's up, Noah?
And then we have Luke.
What the hell happened?
Botch. In wrestling terms.
Yeah, I
So,
tried to do the cool. I tried to do the cool thing, but then all of a sudden the piece of the gun went missing. So
Deadpool and Wolverine opened this week in theaters. This movie is not only one of the best films of the entire year, it's also one of the better Marvel movies as of the past few years. It's definitely the best movie that Marvel has put out since... See, I like the Marvels. I think the Marvels is better than this as an actual movie. But since we're talking about big, extravagant theater experiences, this is the biggest one since Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes.
Not only in box office, but also in excitement. So, we're going to go into the beginning of the film, as well as the cameos, the spoilers, what happens at the end, and give you our in-depth thoughts. And we're only going to go for about 40 to 45 minutes, so bear with us. It's going to be a shorter stream than usual, and my voice is about shot because I just did a live show for an hour.
yeah,
And it's going to be a fun stream.
Yeah. So that is everything. But before anything, I knew he was going to show up. Welcome in my good buddy, Sav. Welcome in. He said he was going to be here, and it's great to see him.
So,
Cheers to you, buddy.
cheers.
So,
cheers.
we're going to start off with the very beginning of the film, where we get the infamous bye, bye, bye scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Deadpool opens the film, and we see him killing the TV agents while NSYNC's Bye 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 plays, shooting, stabbing, slicing people in half, bye, 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 all the way through. Leading into the search for the Wolverine. But before that, we do have a couple cameos. The cameo that starts out the movie is everybody's favorite Hogan, Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan.
Happy
Played by
Hogan.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau is back. It's nice to see him. Happy Hogan is definitely one of the cameos I was not expecting because nobody was expecting a Happy Hogan cameo in here.
I wasn't expecting it either.
I wasn't.
But I think it's best. I think it's best that we got this. Because who better to open it? Who better to open the movie? I mean, he's not an Avenger. He works for an Avenger. And he works with the Avengers. But along the way, we also get another cameo when he's searching for the Wolverine after he goes into the Marvel office, the MCU office, and finds out that there's multiple worlds, how everybody's world can be saved. He can save this world, he can save that world, but he goes on the search for somebody, and first we do not see the regular Wolverine. We see the regular 5'2" version of Wolverine,
Which was hilarious.
which was hilarious.
With the
Great
small- with
CGI.
small hands.
And then my favorite was when we got Henry Cavill as Cavalrine.
You know, I did not know that Henry Cavill was Wolverine, was that version of the Wolverine. But that totally went over my head when I saw the film.
I'm not. That honestly, that Henry Cavill looked like he just came fresh off a Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Like, if you could tell by the beard.
And then we go into another cameo. Right from there into another cameo. We don't see the face. We see the body, though. We knew who he was. He doesn't say a word.
Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk shows up just to punch Deadpool. Pull a Loki and pow. That's all he does. That's all he needed to do. We don't need to see a Mark Ruffalo banner, a face swap. We don't need any of that. All we needed was just that little punch with a punchline.
And just
That's
a
all
hope.
it needed to be, and it was perfect. But I think my favorite that I was not expecting, my favorite that nobody was expecting this. Thus far in the film, my favorite was Johnny Storm.
Chris Evans.
Oh, Johnny Storm.
Chris Evans as Johnny Storm comes in, and I love the scene where Deadpool goes, "Oh my God, he's going to say the words! He's going to say the words!"
Avengers,
Flame
flame
on!
on!
And he goes, "Flame on!" And what the fuck?
Because I even thought that he was going to be that Chris Evans was going to be Steve Rogers in the film, but when he did Flame On, I was like, "Oh my God, he's Johnny Storm!"
They fooled me, dude. They fooled me good.
I actually knew he wasn't going to be Steve in it just because I knew we were in the Fox world.
Mm-hmm. Because in
like,
the
right.
background, you saw the 20th Century Fox logo in like the dirt with all the garbage there.
Great production
It's
design.
in a fucking wasteland, dude.
Yeah, in the wasteland.
Great production design. Phenomenally done. And the way they kill him off. The way they kill him off by ripping all his skin off and all his organs just falling.
My God.
And let me just say, the film is very gory because you see the
Yes,
blood and bones being, all over the place.
And this was one of those moments in the film where I'm like, why is there a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old sitting right beside me? Until the movie almost started. We got to the very beginning of the previews. No previews aired yet, and the dad goes, "I'm more here for me than I am them," because he was trying to cheer those kids up. Look, Deadpool bucket, Deadpool Wolverine bucket, the cups. The kids didn't give a crap. They didn't give a crap at all. And then he goes, "I'm more here for me than I am for them." And his wife was there because she was just there.
She must be like, "All right, we're heading out of here. There's so much blood. We're heading out of here."
Nope. What was great is there's one scene, I can't remember when it was, but all Deadpool said was, "Oh shit!" And the 3-year-old sitting on her daddy's lap went, "Daddy, he say bad word."
He's a bad word.
He said bad
He's
word.
a bad word. And the entire it was a quiet moment. Oh shit was said. Not a single thing from the audience besides "Aww." Coming from Sav, we do have Flame On.
Flame on.
I might have just woke my dog up. Sorry, buddy. Sav also says, "I'm wearing my Wolverine t-shirt just for this stream."
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Deadpool and Wolverine t-shirt as well. Cannot wait to see this movie multiple more times in theaters. Perfect time to wear the shirt. And if you go and see it again, definitely wear it again to show your support for them.
Of course.
The cameos didn't stop coming. Once they leave the other world, where we meet the one villain, right?
Right.
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova. They end up leaving her world in a great scene where they end up meeting 3. Well, you might as well say 2 big cameos, and then one was a debut that we barely got anything from originally because it never happened.
But it was funny.
It was in production, but they end up canceling it.
It was in production only because, well, one, the script was good, and Channing Tatum was very hot then. And of course, we're talking about Gambit,
Freaking
and then
Gambit.
Elektra, and Blade.
Yes, the only Blade that really exists, Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
And I'm glad that Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes made up just for Blade to be in the film.
There was actually one thing said. Snipes did one interview, and that whole entire thing has been put on for 20 years. They've liked each other the whole time since after Blade 3 was filmed.
Trinity.
They made up immediately afterwards. It was just that Ryan was so new that he didn't know how the Hollywood game completely worked yet. Then after that was his first like massive role with a big budget film where he was one of the main people in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he learned how it worked. He got more roles, and eventually they made up. They completely made up, and it was great. It was great.
That's great.
I'm glad.
Sav says the cameos are awesome, and I almost fell out of my chair when I saw Blade.
Dude, I freaked out like a
I was
12-year-old
shocked.
kid. I'm not lying. I freaked out.
You
When I saw Blade.
never liked me. I know.
I mean, I was shocked though because, for one, I never seen any of the Blade films, but I know Wesley Snipes played Blade,
Mm-hmm.
so it was fun to see him.
With that, we go on to one that people do consider a cameo, but also a spoiler. She is a cameo, but she's not a spoiler. And on my stream last week, on my show last week, I broke down with my guests what is a spoiler. And to me, a spoiler is something that's not revealed in marketing. So that's
Right.
X-23 was in the trailers. She was in some TV spots. So anybody who was watching a baseball game or watching, say, a episode of Big Brother could see, look, X-23 is in the movie. So to me, X-23 is not a spoiler, but she does show up. She has a very heartfelt moment with Logan.
Mhm.
Not the Logan she knew, but she knew what to say to him.
And I like that scene. I love that scene in the film.
I did too.
She knew what to say to him, and it gave the film a lot of heart, because a lot of the time we didn't get a whole lot of heart until that scene between the two of them.
It was a nice little heart-to-heart moment.
But
I
that's not
agree.
the only heart we get, which we will get at the very, very end, which made me bawl like a baby in the freaking theater. But moving on to that, we do get the fight. The massive fight where we get to see Elektra be Elektra and actually slice people. Make them bleed.
That's the Elektra
Otherwise,
I wanted to see.
And I gotta say that's probably a makeup because of how Elektra's solo film was terrible. I never seen Elektra, but one day I would like to just to see how bad it is. I have the film in my collection, so.
And there is a Daredevil joke, which was freaking great, because everybody misconceives it. That Garner and Affleck don't have a good working relationship, because they do. They have a great relationship. They love each other. They parent their kids, and they're still very good friends.
Yeah, look at the chemistry they had in the 2003 film.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the 2003 film. A lot of people don't, but I think that it is a good movie and it should not be, hated on. Although I do prefer the director's cut. I think it's better than the theatrical cut. But I still like both cuts of the film.
And there's one really funny joke where they say something. Well, the Daredevil's gone. I'm so sorry. It's fine. And all Elektra says is it's fine. The whole crowd, half of them laughed, half of them didn't get it. Half of them didn't get it. But again, half of them were mostly there because their spouses and their moms and dads were there. So they had no other choice but to be there.
Right.
Looking at the comments again, Sav says the Daredevil is a good movie.
It is. It is. It should not be hated on.
I was very surprised that we didn't get a Ben Affleck cameo potentially, because Gambit was one I didn't think we were going to get. I thought Blade, Elektra were the two strongest possibilities, but I was also cautious. I'm like, do you think they'll give us an Elektra and Daredevil back? Can they afford his rate?
Right.
Right.
I mean, trying to afford Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, I mean, they're pretty high regard right now.
They would have to pay a lot of money just to get them together again.
Right. Yeah.
With the big fight, they end up defeating most of the villains, still fighting along the way. We don't know what happens to them at the very end. That is a small flaw with the film, that we never get told what actually happens to them. Besides that, all the world is saved. We don't know if they make it or if they die, but that's okay because they're variants. There are variants of these characters. They aren't the characters that we know and love from the Fox verse.
Right.
Going on to the next
Blade wasn't the Fox first, though.
Blade was New Line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still a Marvel
property.
It's a Marvel, it's Marvel property.
Yeah. And the spoiler that I thought was spoiled for me was when we saw all the Deadpool variants.
That was awesome.
I thought one was spoiled for me because the premiere happened and everybody said stay off of Instagram and Facebook and Twitter because spoilers will be everywhere. Nobody said shit about YouTube.
Well, you know what? I saw it on Thursday night. I saw the film Thursday night, way before spoilers were even leaked.
Oh, not me. The movie premiered on a Monday night, Tuesday morning. I saw the first two spoilers. First two spoilers I saw. One was Lady Deadpool. Then again, that was very good AI. Because you don't see Lady Deadpool's face. You hear her voice. You hear her voice. And it's Blake Lively. Very smart to not show her. Because then you don't have to pay her rate as much as you do. Because she's doing voice work.
Of course, Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Yep. And Kidpool is their kid.
Their kids, yeah. Which I never knew. I never knew about that. Until my friend at work today told me about that.
It's their kid.
Yeah. And a lot of people were speculating that Lady Deadpool or Lady Pool could be Taylor Swift. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I mean, can you imagine if Taylor Swift was Lady Pool?
I would have loved that because they're very good friends. Her and Ryan and Blake are very close friends. Her and Blake were at the Super Bowl together. And Ryan goes, where's my wife?
You know,
well, you know.
As I think about that, and I saw them at the Super Bowl, I'm like, all right, maybe Ryan Reynolds is considering, Taylor Swift to be in the film. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
I think it would have been a good thing because then, one, it would have made more money. It would have made more money with Taylor Swift in it.
The film is still making a lot of money.
It's still making a lot of money even without her. But with her in it, you cannot deny that this film was going to make bank.
You think it would be making $1 billion?
It's going to.
It's good. It's going to, but I think that the opening weekend would have been bigger if Taylor was in it because of her fans. Her fans going, and I think some of her fans did go and were a little disappointed because you didn't see her. You did not see who that was, but we know Cowboy Pool was Matthew McConaughey.
All right, all right, all right.
And then the last cameo that I want to bring up is Nice Pool steals the movie every scene he's in,
Played by Ryan Reynolds.
especially in the scene where all the Deadpool variants are shooting at Deadpool, and he has to hold up a Nice Pool as a body shield.
That
and he's
was
just
hilarious.
twitching, and it's just great. I love that scene. It delivered on everything I wanted. The soundtrack is great.
Of course.
One thing I will say that pissed me off was we got the soundtrack announced, and we saw
the film even came out.
Yeah, we got two Greatest Showman songs announced.
I think it was 2 days before the film came out.
Yeah, and we got two Greatest Showman songs announced. Less than a second of each.
Of course, you had to have some Greatest Showman songs in there. I mean, Hugh Jackman was part of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I really wanted to happen though is during that big action fight with the Deadpool variants as they walk out, and it's just that. It's just The Greatest Show is playing. I think that would have been a nice touch. It would have been a nice callback to a family-friendly version of Hugh Jackman while he's slicing people open, ripping them apart, and killing people along the way. And then
hints this up here. Hints this.
Yep. Right there.
Yep, there you go.
Love the movie. It's my second favorite or my first favorite film of all time. I can never decide. It's a national treasure. Doesn't get enough love. One of the greatest films ever made and the greatest soundtracks ever made.
Shockingly, I never seen it.
I am going to do a live stream and you will come and watch it. And it is going to be a watch along because I got to get you to watch it. It is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Maybe. Because I don't own the film, so.
Well, it is streaming. But then we get to the big scene.
Before we get to that, I just want to talk about the scene with Deadpool and Wolverine, and they fight all the Deadpools. How it was a good choice of them to have Madonna's "Like a Prayer" song being played. And my friend at work told me this, that Ryan Reynolds actually went to Madonna and showed him the scene of him and Wolverine fighting the Deadpools. And Madonna doesn't really like to license out her music unless like somebody like Ryan Reynolds says, we want to use one of your songs in the scene. We're going to play the scene for you. If you like the scene, you could let us use your song with your permission. So Madonna ended up saying to Ryan Reynolds that she liked the scene and gave him the privilege and the rights to use the song for that scene.
Yeah. Which is great because Madonna isn't actually that hot anymore.
Right.
But her songs are consistently played on the radio. But she's not selling out arenas like she was. She's not acting like she was. Thank God. Thank God. Because the only movie I actually like her in
Dick Tracy
is Body of Evidence.
I liked her in Dick Tracy.
See, I haven't seen that, but the last time I saw her in was Swept Away, which was god awful.
How dare I rate you for that?
That was just disrespect to his wife and to the audience for making us watch that pile of garbage. But then we move on to the big scene, the big grand finale, where they try to save the universe. We get the inevitable shot that we all knew was going to happen with Hugh Jackman shirtless, making everybody in the crowd, men and women, go, ooh. Not only on screen, but in the theater. In the theater, audible oohs.
And also Wolverine wears his mask, which is great, which got a big applause. I applauded for that as well.
He actually did. That was awesome. He wore his mask, and he said it was bittersweet. Hugh Jackman said 24 years of playing a character, he never got to wear the mask.
I know it took him 24. It took them 24 years just to wear the mask.
And I think it's a good call to do it that way, because the way you do it that way, you're in a Deadpool movie. It's meant to be goofy. If you would have started out in the X-Men movies, if you would have done that in X-Men movies, it would have looked awful in the mid-2000s. Now you have good costume designs. In a Deadpool movie, it makes sense to bring back the blue and yellow suit.
See, now I haven't seen any of the X-Men films because I've seen clips of them, but I've heard the timeline is a mess. But can you imagine, let's just say in X-Men Origins Wolverine, you think that in that film they would have gave, Hugh Jackman the mask and all to wear, because it's an origin story from what I heard. It's an origin story of Wolverine.
Yeah. I really liked that. I really did. My only issue with the climax of the film is that one scene where when Deadpool walks into the room to save the entire universe all by himself is when he goes back to the window and he waves 3 or 4 times. That joke got old after the second one. Nobody in my theater was laughing. It got old. It should have been trimmed. And you could have saved a little bit of time in the film and not made it feel a little more awkward than it actually was. Now, I don't know if that was in the script or if that was a Ryan Reynolds call, because he does like to ad-lib stuff like that where he can.
And of course, he wrote the film.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's either that or it was improv. Either way,
I think it was improv.
Yeah. Either way, I think it should have been cut. It easily should have been cut. 100%. But at the very end, once we get to the entire universe being saved, and we maybe get more of Deadpool in the MCU in another Deadpool movie, even though
I hope
Ryan Reynolds did say he's not going to do a 4th one, which I do believe him.
Come
because
on, Ryan.
I totally get it.
Well, because him and his wife talk, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. It takes time away from his family to do this film compared to a Red Notice or a Free Guy, where he doesn't have to put in all that work and write and co-write and edit and do all the things he does with a Deadpool movie, because it's his baby. The very end of the film, when everything is saved, we potentially get a reconciliation with his ex-girlfriend Vanessa.
Yep.
So we'll probably see that
I
when he shows up.
I just say I don't really like that they split them up. That Wade and Vanessa was split up, because I thought that they made a really good couple together. That's the one thing I'm like, they shouldn't have never did that. They were good together. You could tell how much that, they cared for one another. Especially, going back to the first film.
Yeah. Which granted, she was a stripper. So
yeah.
But then again, after what he did to her in the first one, with the second one, she wasn't seen. But this one, it was nice to see them as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And still being friends, still being close. It's not like with a usual breakup where they meet, they fall in love, then they break up and you don't see them anymore. And you don't talk to anybody anymore. This, I like it, because it actually gives a lot of realness to it.
A lot of depth to it.
Yeah. And at the very end of the film, the part where everybody said, you're going to cry at the ending. You're going to be emotional. You're going to cry, whether you were a viewer of the Fox films or not. All the way from X-Men to Fantastic, it didn't matter. Anywhere in between, before or after, you're going to get someone emotional. and they do pay homage to every single 20th Century Fox Marvel movie. And they
Dude,
say goodbye.
that got me good, man.
And they say goodbye, but they don't end you sad. We do get a post-credit scene, which is just what we needed. What we did not mention
Basically
is
to
the reason
prove that
Storm
Wade
died.
Wilson didn't get like he wasn't the reason that Johnny Storm was killed. Like,
well, he was the reason because he was the one who said all that stuff. But what I think could have happened is that could have been a joke. That could have been a joke and a wink to the audience. Like, did Johnny Storm actually say that stuff? Did he say that stuff?
I think
Either
it was
way,
maybe
him saying that completely made my theater lose it, because we don't ever hear Chris Evans swear like that.
no.
We're used to the good home, awesome American boy in Steve Richards. A clean mouth. Instead, we get Johnny Storm swearing up a storm, saying that she can eat this and lick this and everything else and
everything
and suck on this and everything else. I loved it. Is there anything else that you guys would like to bring up about Deadpool and Wolverine before we go into the comments?
Well, I like the when the Marvel Studios logo comes up, you hear Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool go, humming the music. I thought that was a nice touch and very funny.
Funny, but also you didn't preface. No, I was gonna say though, bro, you didn't preface what Deadpool was fighting the TVA with at the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
Logan's corpse.
Logan's corpse. Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Logan's corpse.
Yeah, you got Deadpool.
Oh my God!
Hey, Logan. And then I was expecting.
And then they just play bye, and then he's just slicing those fuckers.
I was expecting the NSYNC song. I think because of this, now NSYNC is going to become more popular.
I feel like it. Yes.
Yeah.
They could potentially do a reunion tour.
All because of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Another song that I know probably wouldn't fit, but it would be funny though, is if they played "Rock Your Body" by Justin Timberlake. Like, I know it wouldn't fit, but it would have been funny.
I like that they played
Rock Your Body.
I like that they played Power of Love from Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Or hell, Hit to Be Square by Huey Lewis.
That would have been a much better choice.
Fox killed him.
Funny.
Disney bought him, and they're gonna make him do it till he's 90.
I love that line.
Yeah,
I love that line.
Great joke, but I will say this: I think this is Hugh's last time as a full-time version of Logan.
I hope not.
We will see him in other films as Wolverine. I just don't think he's going to do a actual full film again, a total 2-hour film. I think it might be 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes in something like a Doomsday and a Secret Wars. I think that's where you do it. Maybe have him show up in a Guardians film, because some of the Guardians will return. I think you insert him and Deadpool in there to maybe have like a comedic between him and Rocket.
That would be a perfect combo.
What about freaking him and Star-Lord? Come on.
Well, since they did say he was coming back, I don't think that Chris
Pratt.
He will be coming back, but Star-Lord will probably be doing his own thing. He'll be joining another team. He might get a solo film, but I think he'll be in Thor 5. Because we did get that little crossover in Love and Thunder.
Yes. What was I gonna say? Also, I liked the scene where he meets Wolverine, where Deadpool meets Wolverine, and Wolverine, just doesn't like Deadpool. I find him annoying and stuff like that. I like how they fight, but people are going to be like, well, that's not the only time. That's not the only time they met. Of course, they met from what I saw in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but it was the shitty Deadpool with the mouth all
sewn together.
Sewed together, which that's a horrible version of Deadpool. That somebody online, I saw a review of that. Somebody said, "Oh, Deadpool in X-Men Origins looks like Baraka from Mortal Kombat."
Yeah.
But I was gonna say though, do you want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback? Go fuck yourself.
you know, but I really do like the lines that they said. Nice pull. He's like, oh yeah, he's not coming, and then you see him. He's like, fuck.
Going into the comments, Sav says yes, he did have to interview her and ask her, which is nice because I am sure that it was a very easy meeting. After she saw that footage, she goes, well, sure. I mean, I know it's gonna make a lot of money, and she'll get some good royalties off of it.
Oh yeah,
based on the soundtrack,
be getting billions.
Yeah,
just
me and Hugh Jackman have the same body.
Really?
I can't tell if you're being facetious. Maybe.
You know what we forgot to touch up on?
When he put on the mask in the cinema, it went crazy.
Yeah, mine went too.
Oh yeah.
It says here, it's like Batman, but he can't move, but he can move his neck.
Yep.
Can we touch up on the after credit scene?
Yep. The end credit scene was very funny.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The after credit scene was great. They ended it in the right way, not teasing anything else in the MCU. Just calling back to something earlier in the film, while not making you waste your time in the theater, because I was afraid it was going to be something stupid, like maybe Deadpool doing the same thing he did in the first one. But I'm glad they did it this way.
It would have been funnier though if he did what he did in like he actually did something similar to what he did in Deadpool 2. There would have been some hilarity. He should have gone back in time to when he was reading the script for R.I.P.D. And then shooting himself in the back of the fence. Like, come on!
I've never seen
that. Would have been funny.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knows comedy. He knows all the marketing. He knows everything.
I mean, come on. He shoots his old Deadpool in the face, like when he goes back in time to X-Men Origins Wolverine. Shoots his Deadpool in the face, and then he goes back in time to when Ryan Reynolds was reading the script for Green Lantern, and then shoots him in the back of the head.
Film Talk with Mikey says
there was no way they could have done.
Wait. I do hope we get to see more of Channing Tatum return as Gambit. I'm so glad he got the chance to play him. Yes.
Yeah, I liked Channing Tatum as Gambit.
It was in development hell for years. One, because they couldn't find a good screenwriter. They couldn't find the right script. The directors kept leaving. And then I think the budget might have just got too high. Because then they didn't believe in the movie. They were just about ready to shoot. And then they pulled the plug on it. Which is fine.
Maybe they thought the script was terrible.
They might have, and that's why I'm kind of glad they didn't do it. Because they did the smart thing, just like what the new people over at Warner Bros. Pulled the plug on Batgirl. Because if the movie is really that bad, with what we've heard, right? Everybody who saw it said it was an unwatchable film.
I don't blame them. Who would want to see a Batgirl film?
Well, I think we want a Batgirl film, but we want it to be good.
But we got Batwoman. We got the TV series.
Yeah, but with Batgirl, I think with the stories you have, if you choose the right one that connects to the new verse with James Gunn, I think it can work.
Yeah.
Which I think
man.
we'll potentially get it.
I just find Batgirl like when I go back to the 66 Batman series, when I watch season 3 of 66 Batman and Batgirl's in it, she just basically kills the whole season, in my opinion, because she's mostly doing all the work, and then Batman and Robin are just put to the side.
Yeah, they might have been trying to give her own series, and then the ratings tanked. But with what Batgirl did,
there was an intro for I think for a Batgirl TV series like during 66 Batman, but it never came into play.
No.
But that's going to do it, everybody. We've hit the 40-minute mark. It's been a lot of fun, but my voice is going to go, and I got to work all week.
Wow,
but
man.
Until next time, everybody, we will see you all next time. Let you know. Let us know what you thought of Deadpool and Wolverine down below. Like and subscribe if you're new, and we will see all of you guys next time.
See ya.